In the heart of the southern swamplands, hidden beneath the canopy of ancient cypress trees and draped in Spanish moss, stood the abandoned Willowbrook Riverhouse. Once a charming abode, it now exuded an eerie aura that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture close. Its faded blue paint peeled away to reveal the ravages of time, its windows now dark and hollow, like eyes that had seen too much. Legend had it that the house was built by the Rivers family in the early 1900s, nestled by the meandering Willowbrook River that flowed with secrets and whispers. The Rivers were a respected family in the town, known for their influence and wealth, but their fate was marred by a tragic incident that cast a shadow over the property. One fateful night, during a grand party, a fire consumed the mansion, claiming the lives of several family members and servants. The Riverhouse was left abandoned, cursed by the tragic events of that night. Years passed, and the tales of the Willowbrook Riverhouse became the stuff of local lore, a source of ghost stories and superstitions. Teenagers dared each other to spend a night within its haunted walls, but none had the courage to follow through. Until one summer, a group of 5 friends, led by the adventurous Jake, decided to finally uncover the truth behind the legends. As dusk settled over the swamp, casting long shadows that seemed to dance around the house, the group gathered outside the crumbling structure. Jake, an adrenaline junkie with an insatiable curiosity, led the way inside. Armed with flashlights and an old Ouija board, they ventured into the heart of darkness. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. The floorboards creaked ominously underfoot, and the group's breath seemed to echo through the cavernous rooms. The moonlight filtered through cracked windows, casting eerie patterns on the walls. As they gathered around the Ouija board, skepticism mingled with unease. With trembling fingers, they asked questions, hoping to communicate with the spirits said to linger within. Slowly, the planchette began to move, spelling out words that sent chills down their spines. "Help us. Trapped. Beware." Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlights. Panic surged as they fumbled to relight them, and in that darkness they heard faint whispers, like secrets carried by the wind. Terrified, they clung to each other, realizing they were not alone. The night turned into a series of unexplainable events. Shadows seemed to dance along the walls, and distant cries echoed through the house. Objects moved of their own accord, and disembodied footsteps echoed through the corridors. The friends' skepticism gave way to terror as they realized that the stories were not mere legends, but a living nightmare. One by one, they were separated by unseen forces, each encountering their own haunting visions. Sarah, the quietest of the group, saw flickering apparitions of children playing in the rooms. Mark, the joker, was chased by whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Emily, the skeptic, felt an her eyes filled with sorrow. She whispered to him about the tragedy that had befallen her family, how their greed and ambition had led to their downfall. As the night wore on, the group found each other, shaken but alive. Armed with the newfound knowledge, they decided to confront the spirits that lingered within the Riverhouse. Gathering in the study, they began to communicate with the spirits using the Ouija board. Through trembling fingers, they apologized for the pain that had been caused and offered their condolences. The room grew still, and a sense of peace settled over the house. The spirits seemed to grow calmer, their whispers fading into the night. The temperature rose, and a warm light filled the room. The woman who had appeared to Jake smiled, her ethereal form becoming more luminous. With one final heartfelt message, the spirits thanked the group for their understanding and forgiveness. As they spoke, the house seemed to sigh, the weight of its tragic history lifting. The group felt a sense of closure as the spirits finally found the peace they had been denied for so long. With the first rays of dawn, the Willowbrook Riverhouse seemed to come alive once more. Its walls, though still weathered and worn, no longer exuded a malevolent presence. The legends that had shrouded it in fear for decades slowly began to fade, replaced by the story of a group of friends who had faced their own fears and helped to heal a lingering pain. Word spread throughout the town of the Riverhouse's transformation, and the townspeople cautiously began to visit, drawn by the newfound sense of serenity that now surrounded the property. The once scary abandoned Riverhouse became a symbol of redemption, a place where the past had been confronted and forgiven. And as the seasons changed, the cypress trees continued to sway in the breeze, and the Spanish moss danced in the southern sun, casting dappled shadows on the now inviting porch of the Willowbrook Riverhouse.